Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I achieve this beautiful color, the pink, including the roots, how I got the roots to look like that. And yeah, stay tuned, keep watching. So first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take like the end of this eyebrow razor. You can use whatever you want to, it's up to you. If you want to use a dye brush, if you want to use the edge of your rat tail comb, it's totally up to you. But I'm just going to take that, and I am taking Got To Be Glued gel. This is the yellow bottle that I'm using right now, and I'm just going to take that and just rub it on throughout the lace. The reason why I'm doing this step right here is because this is what's going to protect the knots that are on the wig from dyeing once I dip the hair into the color. So I'm just going to repeat this step just throughout the whole entire lace. You do not want to miss a spot with this because this is going to be such a great helper for you. Like, you don't want to miss like the edges or anything like that. I have before, and I think that I actually did on this one just a little bit, like towards like the very front, like a little portion in the front. But what you want to do is flip the lace around and make sure that you can see the Got To Be Glued gel on the other side. You don't want it to seep through, but you want to be able to see it coming from the other side, so that way you know, like, okay, once I add the color to this portion of the wig, it's going to be, you know, protected from the gel. So yeah, this is what you can expect to see once you have finished applying the gel throughout the lace. So now for our next step, what we're going to do is we're going to take the Got To Be spray, and we are going to spray that over the gel that we laid. What this does is it helps the gel dry faster. It helps it dry faster, and it creates like more of a hold, so that way it's not like so messy when you're going through and you're dyeing the roots. Now I'm just going in and I'm going to get my tub, and I'm going to add water. You can use whatever kind of container that you want to. I'm using hot water as well, ladies, and then I'm just going through adding my color. Whatever color you're going to use, you can use this method with whatever color that you are trying to achieve. I would recommend this, you know, like just with any color, Adore, any type of rinse. I would not recommend doing this with trying to achieve black. I have seen people do it before, but in my opinion, I wouldn't trust it. I am like old fashioned. I feel like if you're trying to achieve black, then you should be using black hair dye. So now what I'm attempting to do right now is do a strand test. Girl, what the hell did I think that I was doing right here? It didn't work. First off, if you guys remember all in the beginning, the color that we were even trying to achieve, I don't know how I thought I was going to be able to see that with that little piece of strand. But nevertheless, this is not a step that you have to skip. It is okay for you to do this. I would just recommend taking more hair and try and get that way. So then I just went through and I began to add more of the color because I wasn't seeing it on the strand. It was coming up like a tiny bit, like a little light, but I wasn't really able to see it, and I wanted to go for like a more of a darker pink. So I just went through and I added some more of the Adore. Now it is time for us to take our wig, and I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like a little bit hesitant, but once I started dipping their hair and then I started seeing the color, I'm like, okay, I think that this might be exactly what we was looking for. So sometimes I do see people color their roots first, but I feel like for me, with the color that I was trying to go for, I decided that it made more sense for me to actually just dip the hair first rather than trying to put like a darker color on there and then add the lighter color. I feel like that would be so backwards. So I'm right here, I'm just going through and I'm just, you know, just dipping the wig in, trying to make sure that I'm seeing it get on all of the hair. That's one thing that you do not want to miss. Sometimes when I see people do watercolors I see this skipped a lot. It's like the color is not throughout the whole hair, and you don't want to miss certain spots, because then you haven't achieved your color, you haven't achieved the look. So what I just did was I just went through and I just like took my hands and then like just rubbed the color into the hair. It's not going to make it be like too dark or anything like that. What I will say is the more you dip it though, the darker it will get. The more dye that you use, the darker the dip will be. So you know, like, you want to take your time and add the dye. You don't have to add a lot at a time. You can always add more, but you can't take away when it comes to coloring the 613 hair. And who got time for that? Nobody got time to be trying to go through and take no color out. No, nobody has time for that. So what you do is just take your time. Don't worry, you know, like, set some time aside so that you can do this the correct way. Now, you guys know I love to be very transparent with you. So right here, this is where I am showing you a step that I attempted to do, which was, in my opinion, a mistake made. But it wasn't quite a mistake because it didn't cost me anything. But girl, just watch. I tried to I thought I was doing something here. I was going to basically do the same step that I did to achieve the pink. I was doing the same thing to achieve the darker roots as well, but honey, I attempted and it didn't work, and I was looking like, okay, wait, am I tripping? Am I doing something wrong? But I honestly can't even tell you why it didn't work, and I don't know if it might have been because it was already color on the hair or what. So then I attempted to go in and add more color to make it darker, because I'm like, okay, maybe it's not going on because of the color that's already on there. But no, I just think that it just wasn't supposed to work out that way. So I'm just gonna let you guys see this. This is a mistake made. I mean, you could try this step if you want to. It might work for you, but for me it didn't work. And it actually was a lot harder to do too. I feel like it was like, yeah, it was a little uncomfortable. So yeah, just enjoy. Into the portion to where I actually began to color knots the correct way. So what I'm using right here is the same dye that I was using before, which is the Adore, and I'm just taking my dye brush and I'm going over just the roots throughout the wig. I didn't do this in any like type of uniform, and the reason for that was because I didn't want it to look uniformed. I wanted to actually look like, you know, her natural brown roots was coming out of her head. And so I just went ahead and I just parted each part of the wig section by section, small sections, just so that I was making sure I got both sides of the hair so that it didn't look blotchy. And yeah, I just went through and just colored all of the different roots throughout it. And yeah, you guys will be able to see exactly how I did that right here. one of the pointers that I do want to make to you guys is that when you are adding the color to the roots, whether you're using like a rinse or whether you're using like a permanent dye, what I will say is that when you are actually applying the color to the roots, take your time, like really take your time and apply it lightly. You don't want to like, you know, pick up a whole bunch of dye at one time. You want it to be like a very small amount. Like throughout this, I found myself continuously wiping the brush off even after I had already picked up the dye, just because I didn't want to make the mistake of just adding too much. Like even though we have the protective barrier underneath, you still, you know, just want to be cautious. Like you want your project to come out looking right. So that's what that's what we achieved right here. You just take your time and apply the dye loosely, gently to the hair, and it'll come out perfect. And now we have our final look. You guys, I was so happy about this, and my client looks beautiful. She loved her hair. It looks so pretty. Her roots look so natural. They're not blotchy. They're not all over the place, and it's not too much at one time. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.